The ancient Sumerians invented the system of time 5,000 years ago, and we still use it today. Most of us know of the Sumerians from Nibiru and Zechariah Sitchin, but they invented a lot of things. They also had the Sumerian king list, with the kings living tens of thousands of years. But they also invented the system of time 5,000 years ago, which we still use today. One might find it curious that we divide the hours into 60 minutes and the days into 24 hours. Why not a multiple of 10 or 12 or something else? Put quite simply, the answer is because the inventors of time did not operate on a decimal base 10 or duodecimal base 12 system, but a hexadecimal based 60 system. For the ancient Sumerian innovators who first divided the movements of the heavens into countable intervals, 60 was the perfect number. The useful number 60. The number 60 can be divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, and 30 equal parts. Moreover, ancient astronomers believed there were 360 days in the year, a number which 60 fits neatly into 6 times. The Sumerian Empire did not last. However, for more than 5,000 years, the world has remained committed to their delineation of time. Sumerian time. Many ancient civilizations had a rough approximation of the passage of time. Obviously, a day began when the sun rose, and night began when the sun set. Somewhat less obvious was the passage of weeks, months, and years. However, these too had been approximated by ancient people. A month was the length of time of one complete lunar cycle, whereas a week was the length of time for one phase of the lunar cycle. A year could be estimated based on the changing seasons and relative position of the sun. Since the zenith of the sun was determined, scholars could count the number of sunrises and sunsets that passed until it reached its zenith again. In this manner, the ancient Egyptians, the Mayans, and Babylonians, among others, determined that the year had 360 days. Yet it was the Sumerian astronomers and mathematicians who first systematically divided the passage of time, and their work was widely accepted and spread throughout Eurasia. The decimal system was not the first counting system. The decimal system is today the most widely used numerical base. It's a readily available system of counting, given that humans have 10 fingers on which to count. As such, there are several claimants to the invention of the decimal system, notably the Greeks about 300 BC, and the Chinese 100 BC, and the Indians 100 AD. Less well known are the origins of the duodecimal system, although it appears to have arisen independently in ancient Nigeria, Chinese and Babylonian languages, markedly in the belief of the 12 signs of the zodiac. However, all of these were preceded by the ancient Sumerians, who crafted their hexadecimal system in the 3rd millennium BC, 3,000 years before. The Sumerian invention of the hexadecimal system. The Sumerians initially favored the number 60 because it was so easily divisible. Not only were there few remainders when working with the number 60 and its multiples, the remainders that did appear did not have repeated decimals, a concept Sumerians could not process at the time. The land of Sumer was conquered in 2400 BC by Akkadians and then by the Amorites, also known as the Babylonians, in 1800 BC. Each subsequent ruling power also appreciated the user-friendly hexadecimal system and incorporated it into their own mathematics. So the notion of dividing time into units of 60 persisted and spread to the east in Persia, India, China, as well as to the west in Egypt, Carthage, and Rome. The system neatly complemented the Chinese astronomers' work of discovering the 12 astronomical hours of the stars, a mostly theoretical discovery, as most people lived by the sun. It also worked with imperial military strategies, particularly the division of the night watch into multiple even increments. The Egyptians maintained 3 watches at night, and the Romans had 4. With Greek and Islamic innovations, In geometry, it was discovered the 360 was not only in length of time of the Earth's ideal orbit, but also the perfect measurement of a circle. The hexagesimal system thus began to solidify its place in history by becoming essential for mathematics and navigation, the Earth being divided into degrees of longitude and latitude. And finally, with the invention of the timepiece in the 14th century, the circular clock face was divided into neat hexagesimal quadrants that give each minute 60 seconds. And this is from Ancient Origins, and it's on Out of Minds 2. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.